Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Friday, February 11th, 2022. Big show today. College basketball, NBA, NHL. We'll recap the games from last night. Look ahead to tonight and the weekend's games. Olympics, golf. We'll make our pick for the Super Bowl. We'll go over news and notes and best bet of the day. All right, we're going to start with college basketball. We'll do a quick recap of the busy window that was last night. Look ahead to a very slim window for tonight. And a very busy Saturday and a not-so-busy Sunday. Wagner over Mount St. Mary, 69-57. Towson over William & Mary, 75-60. NC Central over Warren Wilson, 115-43. App State over Georgia Southern, 65-61. Ohio over Central Michigan, 81-72. Indiana State over Evansville, 80-77 in double overtime. UAB over Southern Miss, 84-63. Middle Tennessee over Old Dominion, 63-48. FIU over Marshall, 72-71. Louisiana Tech over Charlotte, 82-77. Bryan over Sacred Heart, 99-86. Central Connecticut over Merrimack, 60-57. LA over St. Francis, Brooklyn, 74-69. St. Frank, PA over Fairleigh Dickinson, 78-65. Longwood over SC Upstate, 85-72. UIC over Cleveland State, 76-75. Purdue Fort Wayne over IUPUI, 72-57. Troy over Arkansas State, 79-77. Georgia State over Coastal Carolina, 61-50. North Dakota State over Western Illinois, 84-81 in double overtime. VMI over Mercer, 85-79. UNC Greensboro over the Citadel, 86-66. Hofstra over Drexel, 83-73. Delaware over Northeastern, 74-61. Alon over James Madison, 70-66. Iowa over Maryland, 110-87. Yale Monroe over Texas Arlington, 74-71. Number 7 Duke over Clemson, 82-64. Nichols over Incarnate Word, 69-58. SIU Edwardsville over Tennessee Martin, 71-63. Belmont over Morehead State, 48-47. Western Kentucky over FAU, 76-69. New Orleans over A&M Corpus Christi, 78-69. Grand Canyon over Utah Valley, 79-69. Stephen F. Austin over Chicago State, 81-61. Texas State over Louisiana, 82-73. South Alabama over Little Rock, 77-46. North Dakota over St. Thomas, Minnesota, 78-70. South Dakota over Omaha, 91-69. Number 23, Murray State over Tennessee State, 73-62. Tennessee Tech over Eastern Illinois, 73-62. Austin Peay over Southeast Missouri State, 74-66. Houston Baptist over Northwestern State, 76-69. Number 2, Gonzaga over Pacific, 89-51. Michigan over number 3, Purdue, 82-58. Number 4, Arizona over Washington State, 72-60. Number 22, St. Mary's over San Diego, 86-57. Oregon over Stanford, 68-60. Montana State over Portland State, 77-74. Northern Arizona over Montana, 72-67 in overtime. Idaho State over Idaho, 79-70. Eastern Washington over Weber State, 75-67. New Mexico State over Dixie State, 77-69. South Dakota State over Denver, 84-61. Southeast Louisiana over McNeese, 91-86. UC Irvine over UC Riverside, 66-56. UC Santa Barbara over Cal State Bakersfield, 74-62. Cal State Northridge over Cal Poly, 83-78 in double overtime. Northern Colorado over Sac State, 79-61. Cal Baptist over Lamar, 83-61. Seattle over Texas Rio Grande, 67-59. Washington over Arizona State, 87-64. BYU over Loyola Marymount, 83-82 in overtime. San Francisco over Pepperdine, 105-61. And Long Beach State over Hawaii, 73-66. Now we look ahead to tonight's games. At 7 o'clock on Fox Sports 1, you have number 24 UConn and number 25 Xavier. Loser of this game is obviously not going to be ranked on Monday. My projection here is Xavier 1.25, total 140.6. Meanwhile, it is 1.5 and 138.5. Over. Wright State, Milwaukee on ESPNU. My projection is Wright State by 8, total 142.95. Meanwhile, it is 8.5 and 147.5. Under. Oakland and Robert Morris. My projection is Oakland by 14.5, total 143.55. Meanwhile, it's 6.5 and 143.5. Laying the points. Detroit and Youngstown State. My projection is Youngstown State by 4.5, total 140, and it's 1.5 and 142.5. Laying the points. Riders, St. Peter's. My projection is St. Peter's by 10.5, total 134.85. And it's 7.5 and 129.5. Over. Monmouth, Manhattan. My projection is Monmouth by 10, total 141.6. And it's 5.5 and 140.5. Laying the points of Monmouth. Kent State, Akron on ESPN2. My projection is Akron 3.5, total 134.15. And it's 3.5 and 129.5. Over. Northern Kentucky and Green Bay at 8 o'clock. My projection is Green Bay as an 18-point underdog, total 133.4. And it's 7.5 and 129.5. I'm going to lay the points in Northern Kentucky. Nevada and Utah State. My projection is Utah State by 4. Total 144.4. The game's on 9 o'clock on Fox Sports 1. And it is 11.5 and 145.5. I'm taking Nevada in the points. That is a lot for Utah State to be favored by. St. Bonaventure and St. Louis on ESPN2. My projection is St. Louis 2.5, total 141.65, and it's 5.5 and 139.5. I'm taking Bonaventure in the points. Iona Siena on ESPNU. My projection is Iona 16, total 140.7. And it's 8.5 and 141.5. I'm laying the points. Northern New Mexico and New Mexico, we could skip. 9:30 CBS Sports Network, Fresno State, Colorado State. My projection is Colorado State by 13, total 134.55. And it's 6.5 and 130.5. Laying the points. And Friday night, last but not least, 11 o'clock, Fox Sports 1, UNLV, Boise State. My projection is Boise by 12 3/4, so 1 3/4, and it is 8.5 and 130.5. I'm going to lay 8.5 with Boise. Saturday, 12 o'clock, ESPN, Texas A&M at number 1 Auburn, ESPN2, number 20 Texas at number 10 Baylor, Lafayette Lehigh, Fox Sports 1 Creighton Georgetown, St. Joe's UMass, SEC Network Arkansas Alabama, 1 o'clock CBS, Oklahoma number 8 Kansas, on Fox Seton number 15 Villanova, from the Wells Fargo Center, American and Boston University, Merrimack Wagner, Sacred Heart Fairleigh Dickinson, St. Fran Brooklyn, Connecticut, Central Connecticut, Illinois State, Indiana State, Niagara Fairfield, CBS Sports Network at 1:30 Navy Army, 2 o'clock Fox Sports 1, Rutgers at number 14 Wisconsin, Holy Cross Bucknell, NC Central Morgan State, Temple Tulane, Northern Arizona, Montana State, Bryan LIU, Charles Southern Gardner Webb, on ESPN, Florida State, North Carolina, Yale, Columbia, Harvard, Penn, Brown, Cornell, New Hampshire, Binghamton, ESPN2, West Virginia, Oklahoma State, Georgia Southern, Coastal Carolina, George Washington, Dayton, ESPNU, Davidson, Rhode Island, Chattanooga, Furman, Northeastern, Drexel, Alon Towson, Ball State, Buffalo, SEC Network, South Carolina, Georgia, 3 o'clock, North Texas, Rice, Sam Houston, Chicago State, Miami, Wake, ACC Network, NC State, Pitt, IPI, Cleveland State, Texas State, UL Monroe, Texas, Arlington, Louisiana, North Dakota, Western Illinois, 3:30 on ABC, Memphis at number 6, Houston. I would have never guessed that game to be on ABC before the year. Or maybe I would have, but, that's a big game for the conference to get on ABC. On Fox, Indiana, number 17, Michigan State. CBS Sports Network, The Citadel, VMI. Bowling Green, Miami of Ohio, Eastern Michigan. 4 o'clock on ESPN, Florida, number 5, Kentucky. TCU at number 9, Texas Tech. Number 23, Murray State and Morehead State. Pac-12 Network, Cal, Oregon. SC Upstate, Coppin State, UC Riverside, UC San Diego, Bethune-Cookman, Alcorn State, Delaware State, Howard, Western Kentucky, UTSA, Southern Utah, Sac State, McNeese, Northwestern State, A&M, Corpus Christi, Nichols, Mexico State, Utah Valley, Lamar, Seattle, Mount St. Mary, St. Fran, PA, UNC Asheville, SC Upstate, Longwood, NC&T, Georgia Tech, Virginia on ESPN2, Dartmouth, Princeton, Stetson, Florida, Gulf Coast, ESPNU, Kansas State, Iowa State, Georgia State, App State, Valpo, Missouri State, VCU, George Mason. South Dakota, Denver. Sanford East, Tennessee State. William and Mary, James Madison. 4:30 Fox Sports 1. Number 18, Marquette at Butler. Tennessee Tech, SAU, Edwardsville. Tennessee Martin, Eastern Illinois. Grambling, Texas Southern. Presbyterian, Winthrop. Bellarmine, Northern Alabama. Toledo, Northern Illinois. 5 o'clock, ACC Network, number 7, Duke at Boston College. Mississippi Valley State, Alabama A&M. Colgate, Loyola, Maryland. Belmont, Southeast Missouri State. Tennessee State, Austin Peay. Weber State, Idaho. Idaho State, Eastern Washington. Houston Baptist, Southeast Louisiana. Incarnate Word, New Orleans. UMBC, UMass Lowell. Eastern Kentucky, Lipscomb. Central Arkansas, Jacksonville State. Little Rock, Troy. 5:15, Omaha, South Dakota State. 5:30, Arkansas, Pine Bluff, Alabama State. Radford, Hampton, North Florida, Kennesaw State. CBS Sports Network, Fordham, Duquesne. 6 o'clock, Pac-12 Network, number 4, Arizona at Washington. ESPN, number 16, Ohio State at Michigan. SEC Network, Vandy, number 19, Tennessee. ESPNU, SMU, East Carolina. Maryland, Eastern Norfolk State. San Francisco, Santa Clara. Campbell, High Point. ESPN2, Syracuse, Virginia Tech. Liberty, Jacksonville. LaSalle, Richmond. 6:30 Fox Sports 1, DePaul at number 11, Providence. Southern Prairie View. Florida A&M, Jackson State. Hofstra, Delaware. 7 o'clock, Notre Dame, Clemson on the ACC Network. Vermont, Albany. Hartford, NJIT. UIC, Purdue, Fort Wayne. Arkansas State, South Alabama. Western Carolina, Wofford. Charleston, UNC Wilmington. Canisius, Marist. Central Michigan, Western Michigan. 8 o'clock, ESPNU, South Florida, Wichita State. Cincinnati, Tulsa. Pac-12 Network, Utah, Colorado. Abilene Christian, Tarleton. Pacific, San Diego. Evansville, Southern Illinois. Drake, Bradley. UMKC, Oral Roberts. North Dakota State, St. Thomas, Minnesota. ESPN2, Mississippi State, LSU. CBS Sports Network, Air Force, San Diego State. 8:30 SEC Network, Ole Miss, Missouri. Big Ten Network, Penn State, Minnesota. 9 o'clock, Portland State, Montana. Grand Canyon, Dixie State. Wyoming, San Diego State. Or San Jose State, my bad. 10 o'clock, ESPN2, number 22, St. Mary's at number 2, Gonzaga. ESPN, number 12, UCLA, number 21, USC. So that's going to be Passion Walton. ESPNU, Arizona State, Washington State. Cal State, Northridge, Cal State, Bakersfield. UC Santa Barbara, Cal Poly. Texas Rio Grande, Cal Baptist. CBS Sports Network, BYU, Pepperdine. Loyola Marymount, Portland. 10:30 Pac-12 Network, Stanford, Oregon State. And at midnight Eastern on ESPN2, Cal State, Fullerton, Hawaii. Sunday, 12 o'clock on Fox, number 24 UConn at St. John's at the Garden. Robert Morris and Youngstown State, Northern Kentucky, Wright State. 1 o'clock CBS, Maryland, number 3 Purdue. Stony Brook, Maryland, or Maine, my bad. Detroit, Mercy, Oakland. Monmouth, Iona, Siena Ryder. 2 o'clock Big Ten Network, Northwestern, number 13, Illinois. ESPNU, Old Dominion, UAB. Green Bay, Milwaukee, Manhattan, Quinnipiac, Fox Sports 1, Nebraska, Iowa. 3 o'clock Marshall, UTEP. Charlotte, Middle Tennessee. Mercer, UNC, Greensboro. 4 o'clock Fox Sports 1, Colorado State, Boise State. And on ESPN2, Northern Iowa and Loyola, Chicago. All right, now move on to the NBA. We'll recap the games from last night and look ahead to the games for tonight and the rest of the weekend. Grizzlies over to Pistons, 132-107. Wizards over to Heat, 113-112. Heat over to Pelicans, 112-97. Raptors over to Rockets, 139-120. Mavs over to Clippers, 112-105. Suns over to Bucks, 131-107. And the Knicks over to Warriors, 116-114. Now we look ahead to tonight's games. 7 o'clock, you have the Hornets and the Pistons. My projection for this game is Charlotte by 7.5, total 221.05. And it is Charlotte by 7, total 226.5. I'll take the under. Cavs Pacers, my projection is Cleveland 4.25, total 214.25, and it is 7.5 and 213.5. I'm going to take the Pacers plus the points. Hopefully Halliburton makes his debut tonight. Thunder 76ers. My projection is Philly by a whopping 22. Total 211.05. And it's 13 and 207.5. I'm laying the points of Philly. Next up, 7:30, you got the Spurs and the Hawks. My projection here is Hawks 10.5, total 222.9, and it is 8 and 233 under. NBA TV, Nuggets Celtics. My projection is Boston 6.5, total 214.75, and it's 5.5 and 217 under. 8 o'clock, the Timberwolves and the Bulls. My projection is Chicago 3.25, total 223.15. And it's 4 and 240.5. Way under. There's so many injuries that are still at the Bulls for me to go over that total. And last but not least, 9 o'clock, the Magic and the Jazz. My projections, Utah 22.5, total 217.45, and it's 13.5 and 222. I'm going to lay the 13.5 with the Jazz in this spot. All right, now the games for Saturday. 5 o'clock, Knicks, Trailblazers. 7 o'clock, Grizzlies, Hornets, Kings, Wizards, Spurs, Pelicans. 7:30, Cavs, Sixers, Nuggets, Raptors. 8 o'clock, Nets, Heat, Thunder, Bulls. 8:30, Clippers, Mavs. ABC, Lakers, Warriors. We'll see if Golden State bounces back from that Knicks loss. And if the Lakers bounce back from their Portland loss. More importantly, it'll be very interesting to see that game. Because the loser of that game is the Warriors. And at 9 o'clock, the Magic and the Suns. Super Bowl Sunday, 2 games. 2 o'clock on ABC, the Hawks and the Celtics. So that's a good one. And at 3 o'clock, you have the Timberwolves and the Pacers. And if I had to guess, I'm going to say Mike Breen, Jeff Van Gundy, Mark Jackson on the Saturday game. And the Sunday game will probably be like Mark Jones and Doris Burke, or Ryan Ruocco and Doris Burke, or something like that from TD Garden. All right, now I'm going to go over the NHL slate from yesterday and look ahead to the weekend. There's a couple games last night in the NHL. Blue Jackets over the Sabres 4-3 in OT. Hurricanes over the Bruins 6-0. Pens over the Sens 2-0. Caps over the Habs 5-2. Devils over the Blues 7-4. Flames over the Maple Leafs 5-2. And the Avs over the Lightning 3-2. All right, now we look ahead to a small window for tonight. 8:30 of the the Jets and the Stars. Dallas is favored -172. Winnipeg's +142. Over under 6. Overs -104. Unders -118. Winnipeg +1.5 is -192. Dallas -1.5 is +154. I'm going to go over 6. I think this is a higher scoring game than people will expect. 9 o'clock, the Islanders at the Oilers. Big changes with the Oilers. We'll get to that in news and notes. And they are -154 favorites. Edmonton Islanders are +128. Over under 5.5. Overs -120. Unders -102. Isles +1.5 is -215. Oilers -1.5 is +172. I'm going to go Oilers in regulation here. +105. Just because I think they'll play better tonight with the changes that they've made. 9:30, Lightning Coyotes. Lightning -310. Coyotes +245. Over under 6.5. Overs -102. Unders -120. Lightning -1.5 is -115. Coyotes +1.5 is -105. I'm going to go with the ballsy pick here at the Coyotes puck line. They upset the Avalanche outright as a big underdog. And the value, I think, is there on the puck line for Arizona. So I'm giving the +1.5. Maybe the Lightning win by 1. Maybe Arizona wins outright. But I like Arizona on the puck line tonight. And at 10 o'clock, the Kraken and the Ducks. The Ducks are -162. The Kraken are +134. Over under 5.5. Overs -106. Unders -114. Seattle +1.5 is -192. Ducks -1.5 is +152. I'm going to go here with the under. I just think that the combination of John Gibson and net and the lack of offense from Seattle will be the prevailing factor here. So under 5.5 at -114. Saturday, 12 o'clock, Flyers, Red Wings, 12:30, Bruins, Senators, Blue Jackets, Canadians, NHL Network, 7 o'clock, Maple Leafs, Canucks. That's weird that game is put in that time slot. So it's 4 o'clock out west. Odd time for a Canucks game on a Saturday. Jets, Preds, 8 o'clock, Hurricanes, Wild, Blues hosting the Blackhawks, and 10 o'clock, the Islanders at the Flames. Super Bowl Sunday, 12:30, Sabres, Canadiens, Senators, Capitals, 1:30, Penguins, Devils, 2 o'clock, the Avs and the Stars. So, usually NBC would get a game in that spot, or NBC Sports Network, but not this year because NBC doesn't have the Super Bowl, hockey anymore. It has the Super Bowl, doesn't have hockey anymore, and the Olympics are going on. So that, I guess, is a factor in this as well. So there you have it for hockey for the weekend. Now we'll go over the Olympic results from yesterday and look ahead to what's to come for tonight. Alpine skiing, women's Super G, gold medal event, bronze. Michelle Jussin of Switzerland, silver. Mirjam Punchner of Austria, the gold. Lara Gutbarami of Switzerland. Biathlon, women's 7.5 kilometer sprint, bronze. Dorothea Weirer of Italy, silver. Elvira Orgberg of Sweden, and the gold. Marte Asplund Roysland of Norway. Bobsleigh, the two-man official training heats 3 and 4, and women's monobob official training heat 3 and 4 done. Cross-country skiing, men's 15-kilometer classic, the bronze. Johannes Heisflat Kalebo of Norway, the silver. Alexander Bolshinov of Russia, and the gold going to Levo Niskanen of Finland. Curling results. Men's round robin session 3. Switzerland over ROC 6-3. USA over Great Britain 9-7. Sweden over Italy 9-3. China over Denmark 5-4. Women's round robin session 3. US over China 8-4. Canada over Japan 5-8 or 8-5. Switzerland over ROC 8-7. And Korea over Great Britain 9-7. Men's round robin session 4, ROC over Denmark 10-2. Great Britain over Norway 8-3, and Switzerland right now with the 5-3 advantage over Canada. Ice hockey. Men's prelim round Group B. ROC over Denmark 2-0, and Czech Republic over Switzerland 2-1. And men's prelim round C, Sweden over Slovakia 4-1, and Finland over Latvia 1-0. And the women's playoff quarterfinals, USA over Czech Republic 4-1, and Canada right now with the 9-0 lead over Sweden. Short tracks. Speed skating, women's 1,000 meter final A. Bronze going to Hanne Desmet of Belgium. The silver going to Minjung Choi of Korea. And the gold going to Suzanne Schulting of the Netherlands. Skeleton, men's heat 4 is in progress. And men's heat 3, women's heats 1 and 2 done. Ski jumping, men's large hill individual qualifying round done. Snowboarding, men's snowboard half-pipe final run 3. The bronze going to Jan Scherer of Switzerland, the silver going to Scotty James of Austria, and the gold going to Ayamu Hirano of Japan, and coming in 4th place, Sean White in his last ever half-pipe run, and he's going to retire. Speed skating, men's 10,000 meter, bronze going to David Giotto of Italy, the silver going to Patrick Roost of the Netherlands, and the gold going to Niels van der Poel of Sweden. Now we look ahead to everything that's going to be tomorrow in Beijing. So we have alpine skiing, women's downhill first training, biathlon. We have the men's 10-kilometer sprint, The bobsleigh, we have the women's monobob trainings 5 and 6, and the two-man training 5 and 6. Cross-country skiing, the women's 4x5 kilometer relay. Curling, we have women's round-robin session 4, Sweden, Canada, Korea, ROC, Japan, Denmark. Men's round-robin session 5, Italy, China, Canada, Sweden, Denmark, Switzerland, U.S., Norway. And session 5 for the women's, ROC, Japan, Denmark, Switzerland, Great Britain, USA, and Sweden, China. Figure skating, we have the ice dance, rhythm dance, which is going to be at 6 a.m. East Coast time tomorrow morning. And it'll be nighttime in Japan, 7 o'clock in Japan at night. Ice hockey, men's Group A. Canada, USA, Germany, China. In Group B, ROC, Czech, and Switzerland, Denmark. Canada, USA is a great game. I think Canada's going to beat USA. I think Canada's just more talented. I hope USA wins, obviously, for the sake of our country, but I just think Canada has some talent. And then I think Germany will beat China. ROC, Czech, I'm going to say Czech wins, and then Switzerland, Denmark, I'm going to say Switzerland wins that one. Women's playoffs quarterfinal, ROC, Switzerland, and Finland, Japan. I'm curious to see if DraftKings has odds for this, because I feel like they did. They have it for the men. Here we go, the women. Switzerland, ROC. ROC's minus 200. Switzerland's plus 165. I'm going to say ROC wins. And then Japan, Finland. Finland should win that game. And then in terms of the men's odds, Canada's a big favorite. Germany's a big favorite. I'm going to go with the upset with Czech over ROC, plus 185. Denmark, Switzerland. Switzerland's a big favorite, so I'm going to go with them. The Nordic Combine, Gunderson Large Hill 10-kilometer official training 1 will take place tomorrow. Women's Heat 4. And skeleton ski jumping men's large hill individual final round. Snowboarding mixed team snowboard cross big final. Speed skating the men's 500 meter. And then Sunday in Beijing, alpine skiing, the men's giant slalom run 2 gold medal event. Biathlon, you have the women's 10-kilometer pursuit and the men's 12.5-kilometer pursuit. Bobsleigh, we have the women's monobob heats 1 and 2. Cross-country skiing, the men's 4x10-kilometer relay. Curling, a lot of curling on Sunday. Men's round-robin session 6, you have Norway, Sweden, China, Great Britain, USA, Canada, Italy, ROC. Women's round-robin session 6, Denmark, Great Britain, USA, Sweden, Korea, China, Switzerland, Canada. Men's round-robin session 7, Great Britain, Denmark, Switzerland, Italy, and China, USA. Freestyle skiing, the women's free ski slopestyle qualification runs 1 and 2, and the women's aerial qualifications 1 and 2. Ice hockey, men's prelim group A, you have China, Canada, and USA, Germany. I'm going to say Canada and USA win those games easily. And in group C, you have Slovakia, Latvia, and Finland, Sweden. I'm going to go with Sweden, who's actually an underdog in that game. That's going to be Sunday morning at 3:40 a.m. And then Slovakia, Latvia, I'm going to say Slovakia. Nordic Combine, the Gunderson Large Hill 10-kilometer official training. Short track speed skating, you have the women's 3,000 relay final A and the men's 500-meter final A. Ski jumping, the men's large hill official training 3. Speed skating, the women's 500-meter gold medal event. And then Monday in Beijing on Valentine's Day out there, which some of these will be going on Sunday night here after the Super Bowl. Alpine skiing, we have the women's downhill third training. Bobsleigh, we have the women's monobob heat 4 gold medal event. And the two-man heat 1 and 2. Curling, women's round robin session 7. China, Japan, Canada, ROC, USA, Korea. Men's round robin session 8. Canada, Italy, Denmark, Norway, ROC, Sweden, Switzerland, Great Britain. And women's round robin session 8. Switzerland, Sweden, Great Britain, Canada, Japan, Korea, and Denmark, ROC. Figure skating, ice dance, free dance. It's going to be 9:15 in Beijing, which this will be going on at the same time as the Super Bowl, in theory. So that's unfortunate. That's a gold medal event. Freestyle skiing, the women's free ski slope final run 3. And the women's aerials final 2. Ice hockey, the women's playoff semifinals. That will be, one of them will be going on as we record the Monday podcast. And the other will be going on at nighttime. Or no, one will be going on as we do the podcast Monday, and the other will be going on after the Super Bowl, it looks like. The Nordic Combine Gunderson Large Hill 10 kilometer official training 3. Ski jumping, the men's team final round. Snowboarding, we have the women's snowboarding big air qualification runs 1, 2, and 3. And same with the men's. All right, so that's it for the Olympic stuff for the weekend. Now move on to golf, the Phoenix Open. And we will go over the current leaderboard. In first place right now with a score of 7 under, Sahith Thaglia. In second with 6 under, Kyung-Hoo Lee. Tied for third with 5 under, Henry Higgs, Adam Hadwin, Scott Stallings, and my pick of Brooks Koepka. Tied for 7th, it's a pretty big tie, for 4 under, Xander Schauffele, Louis Olsen, Charlie Hoffman, Alex Loren, Justin Thomas, Patrick Cantlay, Bubba Watson, John Rahm, Stuart Sink, Brett Horschel, Kevin Kisner. Tied for 18th with 3 under. That's another pretty big tie. Abraham Ancer, Gary Woodland, Sam Burns, Gary McDonald, Kevin Tway, Keegan Bradley, Matt Kuchar, Hideki Matsuyama, Adam Scott, Brandon Grace, Brendan Todd, Cam Young, and Scotty Scheffler. Tied for 32nd with 2 under. Another pretty big tie. Taylor Hogs, Max Homa, Carlos Ortiz, Rory Sabatini, Ryan Moore, Doug Gim, Peter Molnani, Cesar V, JT Potson, Keith Mitchell, Zach Johnson, Bryce Garnett. This is a large tie. Tie for 44th with 1 under. Just going to go through notables at this point because we're almost out of time and I'll get to the Super Bowl pick. Chris Kirk, Emiliano Grillo, Jordan Spieth, Sebastian Munoz, Keith Hickok, Patrick Rogers, Dylan McCarthy, Mito Pereira, Matt Fitzpatrick, Tyler Duncan, Matt Leard, Matt Thompson, Siwoo Kim, Taylor Gooch, Adam Putnam. Tied for 70th at even, Sam Piercy, Lucas Donald, Seamus Power, Matt Wallace, Ryan Henley, Joel Dahman, Ricky Fowler, Hudson Swafford, Patton Kazir, Brock Stewart. Tied for 85th with 1 over. This is another pretty big tie. Troy Merritt, Russell Knox, Kevin Stroman, Roger Sloan, Victor Hovland, Matt Jones, Corey Connors, Nate Taylor, Seb Straka, Brett Hostler, Aaron Weiss, Brant Snecker, Sam Ryder. Tied for 102nd with 2 over. Pat Perez, Lucas Glover, Daniel Berger, Dylan Fratelli, Brandon Hagee, Kyle Stanley, James Hahn, Luke List, and Brandon Gay. Tied for 114th with 3 over. Matthew Neesmith, Wyndham Clark, Tony Finau. Tied for 121st with 4 over. Henrik Norlander, Brendan Steele, Charles Howell, Jason Duffner, Hal Varner. Tied for 127th with 5 over. Danny Lee and Tyson McCumber. Tied for 129th with 6 over. Jason Headley. And 132nd with 10 over. Adam Shank. All right, Now it's the time you guys have been waiting for. My pick for Super Bowl 56. We have the Rams. We have the Bengals. From the beautiful SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. My projections here: Rams 6, total 48.5. And the injuries to Tyler Higbee and CJ Osmoa, the tight ends, they cancel each other out, in my opinion. And it's Rams by 4, total 48.5. So I'm going to lay the points with the Rams. They're home, and I undersold last year the Buccaneers being home in the Super Bowl last year and how much that meant to them. And the Bucs and the Rams have similar reputations in the sense of their stadiums would always be filled with the opposing team's fans if the opposing fan base had a bigger fan base than yours. And we saw the Chiefs bandwagon grow and grow over the past several years with Patrick Mahomes, but it didn't matter in that Bucs Super Bowl in Tampa. I don't know if there's going to be a lot of traveling Bengals fans, per se. It's a small market team in Cincinnati. They do have a good fan base. I mean, who doesn't have a great fan base? And the Rams, I think that their crowd kind of came through for them in that Niners game in a weird way. And I think that there's going to be more Rams fans than Bengals fans for sure. Just like last year, there was more Bucs fans than Chiefs fans. I think that the best player on the field in this game will be Aaron Donald or Cooper Kupp. But in reality, it's Aaron Donald because he's just a monster. I don't think the Bengals on the offensive line will have an answer for him. I don't think the Bengals secondary is going to have an answer for Cooper Kupp. But an advantage the Bengals have in this game is quarterback. I think Joe Burrow is better than Matt Stafford at this point. I think Burrow's been amazing. He really has that demeanor to him, believing that he's going to win. And I think he's going to have that demeanor in the game on Sunday. I almost said today. Like, today's not the Super Bowl. And I believe that Burrow and Chase are going to be motivated, but I ultimately think that it'll be too much for them with Aaron Donald on one side and Cooper Kupp on the other to stop. And if I had to pick a final score for this game, I'm going to say 26-20 is realistic. But I'm going to go with the weird score. I'm going to go 29-23. I think there's going to be a missed extra point here by Matt Gay, or else it would be 30-23. So I'm going to go 29-23 Rams. Super Bowl MVP, I'm going to go with Cooper Kupp, who has been the best receiver in football all year, the MVP of the Rams this season at least. And I think there's a chance that he has a multiple touchdown game. So 29-23 Rams, Super Bowl MVP, Cooper Kupp. Maybe on Saturday night I'm going to do a podcast in terms of props and gambling because I don't have the time to do it on the show today. All right, now I'm going to do my latest news and notes. I'm going to start this with the NFL awards, which were announced last night. on a show on ABC, which was really, really fun. So a couple players in the Super Bowl won some of these awards. So MVP went to Aaron Rodgers. No surprise there. He was the most valuable player in the league all season. It really hit me when he, to me, was the MVP. It was the game where they played the Chiefs in Arrowhead and he missed it. And Jordan Love played and he was absolutely terrible. And the Chiefs weren't playing well at the time. And I thought to myself, if Aaron Rodgers played in this game, the Chiefs would be losing by double digits. So that's when I felt Aaron Rodgers was the MVP. And then that narrative started building after that game, and he just went on this amazing run. And the irony is that, remember, they lost. They got their asses kicked by the Saints in Week 1 and Jameis Winston. Yeah, well, Aaron Rodgers was thinking RELAX, relax. And then they go on the run that they go on, earn the 1 seed, and he wins the MVP. There's certainly a case for Cooper Kupp, who, to me, was the best wide receiver in football this season. So, for me, if I had to pick the MVP of the season, I would say Rodgers. And I laid out the case earlier, and then to me, my runner-up is Cooper Kupp. Offensive Player of the Year went to Cooper Kupp, and deservingly so. Best wide receiver in football all year. Triple crown. Led league in receptions, touchdowns, and yards, which is hard to do in today's day and age. So, well-deserved for Cooper Kupp. And my runner-up goes to Jonathan Taylor of the Indianapolis Colts, who had a phenomenal year himself. Defensive Player of the Year, TJ Watt, Pittsburgh Steelers, was your winner, and he was my pick as well. He's had an amazing season. Breaking the sacks record, he absolutely deserves the Defensive Player of the Year award. My runner-up here is the gentleman who won the Defensive Rookie of the Year, Micah Parsons, who was just a monster for the Dallas Cowboys this year. And obviously, he's my Defensive Rookie of the Year. And then my runner-up for Defensive Rookie of the Year is a tough one for me because there's so many decent defensive rookies, but I'll say Patrick Surtain of Denver. I think that he had a good year. Offensive Rookie of the Year went to Jamar Chase of the Cincinnati Bengals. He was really good, and he helped lead his team to where they are now. So absolutely deserving for Jamar Chase after a rocky preseason. Remember all those drops? People were calling him a bust early on. Jeez. And then my runner-up, Mac Jones, New England Patriots, carried the Patriots to the playoffs as a rookie quarterback. Is pretty good. So Jamar Chase, Offensive Rookie of the Year. The Comeback Player of the Year went to Joe Burrow of the Bengals. Well-deserved. Played like he never got hurt, carrying the Bengals to the AFC North title. Runner-up for me, Dak Prescott of the Dallas Cowboys. I know he had a rocky second half, which probably cost him this award and cost him a shot to even win the MVP. But he had a solid-ish bounce-back year for me to get that second spot for Comeback Player of the Year. And the Walter Payton Man of the Year went to Andrew Whitworth of the Rams, which is awesome. He's a good teammate, a great player for the Rams on their offensive line, one of the better pickups they've had over the last half-decade. So, a well-deserved honor for a great person in Andrew Whitworth. Some other news and notes. Evan Fournier, glad no Knicks were dealt. As he said, there was a sense of relief after New York didn't make any moves by the NBA trade deadline. So, I guess the sense he said was that team wanted to stay together, and then they certainly proved that last night with the win over a great team in Golden State. That was probably the best win of the season for the Knicks last night. And the reason why, I know people say, well, Draymond didn't play. Well, guess what? You play Stephen Curry. Draymond's no Stephen Curry. He's not the same player as he used to be, but he's still an all-star player, Draymond Green. But that's not why Golden State lost. Golden State made some mistakes in that game. That game was close, too. And you could argue, they would have won if Draymond played. And you know what? I certainly do believe that. But that's not the only reason why Golden State lost that game last night. Drake made a couple Super Bowl bets. So $600,000 on the Rams money line, $500,000 on Odell over 62.5 receiving yards, and $500,000 on Odell anytime touchdown. And he would win a total of $2.88 million. J.J. Watt announced TJ's award last night. That was such a special moment for J.J. announcing his brother as the Defensive Player of the Year. And then the Assistant Coach of the Year was Cowboys Defensive Coordinator Dan Quinn, which was the right pick. I think that he got a lot out of the Cowboys defense, helping Micah Parsons to getting Defensive Rookie of the Year and a breakout year for Trayvon Diggs in the secondary. Mac Jones' Pro Bowl trash talk, as he was trash talking to Darius Slay. He said, "Remember when I torched y'all in training camp?" That's funny. The Hall of Fame class announced for 2022. Leroy Butler, Bryant Young, Sam Mills, Cliff Branch, Richard Seymour, Art McNally, Tony Baselli, and Dick Vermeil. So some great players and coaches into the Hall of Fame. So congratulations to those 8 guys to getting in the Hall of Fame. Richard Seymour, obviously, an All-Pro and Pro Bowl player with the Pats and the Raiders. Baselli, Pro Bowler and All-Pro offensive tackle with the Jaguars. Leroy Butler, 4-time Pro Bowler with the Green Bay Packers. Sam Mills, 5-time Pro Bowler and All-Pro linebacker with the Saints and the Panthers. Bryant Young, 14 years with the 49ers as a defensive tackle. Vermelli, now Hall of Fame head coach with the Eagles, the Rams, and the Chiefs. 1 Super Bowl title and 2 Super Bowl appearances, 120 regular season wins. And we forgot about McNally on here, who's ultimately a deserving one too. So a couple of snubs to me. Devin Hester, who is an All-Pro player, good return man, returned the Super Bowl opening kick for a touchdown against the Colts in the 2006 season. DeMarcus Ware, former Cowboys defensive end. Troy Holt didn't get it, and neither did Andre Johnson or Reggie Wayne. Zach Thomas didn't get in. Patrick Willis, to me, was a huge snub. He was a great player for the 49ers. So that's surprising that he didn't get in. So tomorrow is an important day in Major League Baseball, as the two sides will get together and find some footing on where things stand in terms of a agreement for the season. And Rob Manfred says that he believes the scheduled March 31st opening day will still happen in mid-lockout negotiations. He better own up to that word, or else he's going to have egg on his face like he always does. You guys know how I feel about Rob Manfred. All-Star starters selected. So LeBron picked Giannis first overall. And then also on his team, he has Stephen Curry, DeMar DeRozan, Nikola Jokic. So Jokic will start at the 5. Curry will be at point. DeRozan's your 2 guard. LeBron will play the 3, and Giannis will play the 4. Kevin Durant's first pick was Joel Embiid, who I'm surprised he went with obvious reasons, especially the reason being that James Harden was just traded to Embiid's team, so I'm surprised Durant picked Embiid. But maybe he just didn't want to make a big fool out of himself. And he also went with John Morant, Jason Tatum, Trae Young, and Andrew Wiggins. Obviously, Durant not playing, but still his team. Embiid's going to be starting at the 5, John Morant at point guard. Trae Young will start at the 2, Andrew Wiggins at the 3, and Jason Tatum at the 4. And LeBron's reserves are Luka Doncic, Darius Garland, Chris Paul, Jimmy Butler, Donovan Mitchell, Fred VanVleet, and James Harden. So you're going to be seeing a lot of Giannis at center. And then Team Durant's reserves are Devin Booker, Karl Anthony Towns, Zach LaVine, Dejounte Murray, Chris Middleton, LaMelo Ball, and Rudy Gobert. So Jason Tatum was not supposed to be a starter. And he is now because of Durant's absence. And the funny thing is that LeBron had the last pick because there's an odd number of All-Stars with Durant being out. Durant had to make 2 picks. And, of course, he didn't pick James Harden. So that's the trolly thing he did. And it would have been even more trolly if he didn't pick Embiid either. But he went with Embiid to make himself look somewhat decent, I say. Kyrie Irving was reportedly eager for James Harden to be traded. I guess they didn't get along. Harden's going to wear number 1 with Philly as Wilt Chamberlain's 13 is retired in Philly. The Dolphins are hiring Wes Welker to be the 49ers coach. He was the 49ers coach with the Niners, the wide receivers coach with the Niners, and now he has the same job with Miami. Ernie Johnson asked Kevin Durant on when he might return, and he was not messing around. KD goes, no. The Orlando Magic had a viral deadline tweet as they had the best welcome tweet from the trade deadline. Which was very funny. He goes, welcome cash considerations. Campaign rips the Lakers as Twitter went off as campaign went on Spaces and told the fans to stop talking about the worst team in the West. Yikes. That's a big yikes. You know the Lakers, the next time they play the Suns, there's going to be some animosity there. Pat Beverly calls out Russell Westbrook as he trolled him amid his recent struggles. As he fired up some tweets. Some hockey news. The Oilers fired Dave Tippett after 2.5 seasons. And Ken Holland says, it's been an up and down like a toilet seat. So we'll see who Edmonton hires as the full-time guy. And their intern coach right now, Jay Woodcroft. And last one, this is cool. Trevor Zegras surprised his teammates, Troy Terry and John Gibson, in Vegas by showing up as their driver before the All-Star game. That was pretty neat to see. All right, last but not least, my best bet of the day. Brought to you by FanDuel. This was a tough one today. as nothing really jumped out to me as I was doing the picks, and nothing jumped out to the point where I said, oh, that's best bet. Like yesterday's pick with Longwood laying the points against USC Upstate, which was a winner. I really did like a pick, actually. But I don't know if I'm going to lay it because it's in the Horizon League. So, like, that gives me somewhat pause here. And I'm not going to lay double digits with the Sixers because I don't know if James Harden's going to be playing tonight. But I'm going to go with the Bulls Timberwolves under 240.5 as my best bet. No Lonzo Ball still for Chicago. That is a super high number. So I'm going to go lay a unit on under 240.5 between the Timberwolves and the Bulls as my best bet of the day. All right, so that's it for today's show. I'll be back on Monday recapping the Super Bowl. And we'll recap everything from the weekend and look ahead to everything going on Monday. Olympics, golf, news and notes, and best bet. Hope you guys have a great, great weekend, everybody. Happy Super Bowl.